today I thought I would make an insert. I have been making my own inserts for years and years now. I haven't purchased a mixed paper insert for probably years. Every now and then I get gifted a handmade insert from Dearest Friends, and I love using theirs. But I also love my comfort zone of my own papers and how I like to set things up. So this is me just doing that, and I don't really have much else to say. This insert will become a Happy Mail / pen pal journal because I haven't had one in a really long time, and I've been really enjoying my Happy Mails lately. I'm slowly getting back into better routines with them, and yeah, I really like it, and I like having a space dedicated to them. I had one years and years and years ago when I was really into the pen paling community. I had a bunch of pen pals, but as life changed, some pen pals dropped off. I definitely dropped off there for a few years after I had my second kid. So, but I'm slowly getting back into it, and I really loved and I really missed the pen pal aspect. I love getting letters, especially. Curating little care packages of ephemera and stuff is fun too, but it's definitely the mail, like the letters, that just make my heart so happy. But I wanted a space to have for them specifically. I usually put a little spread or a little reference to them in my daily log or in my daily journal, but I don't know, it's kind of nice to have a collection of those sort of things in one space. Not just a sentence or two in a daily log or in a planner or that sort of stuff, or just at least what I've been doing in the past couple of years. I think I just wanted to have another dedicated space for it. It's also a low pressure space. There's absolutely no pressure or expectation for it to be perfect or wonderful because it's just a collection of memory. Not a curated space to look cute, if you know what I mean. So it doesn't matter if one page looks completely different to the other or that sort of stuff, because it's just, this is kind of like, I really like getting Happy Mail because it feels like someone's personality in a box. So I really like that the insert shows that. This is why I was drawn to them in the first place and that sort of stuff. I don't know. I think that's just how I like to view it as. It's a very, I don't know how to explain it, but I like it. I think it's the most fun doing things like that. So that is why I am making one. Another reason why I've decided to do it this week is because I didn't order anything else for my Olive Passport until Tuesday. It is only Thursday now. So nothing has arrived, naturally. Even though I was disappointed this morning when I didn't get any sort of notification that something was coming in the mail. I ordered it a day and a half ago. And just because I ordered it express doesn't mean they're going to dispatch it expressly. No, that's not how that works. So the actual setup of my Olive Passport probably won't happen until next week, hopefully. So we'll get a little unboxing, and you'll hear all the crunching packaging being opened and things like that. I love the sound of the plastic being opened. I don't know what it is, but it tickles my brain just right. So we'll get that hopefully next week. In saying that, my partner is on holidays next week, so we plan on doing a couple of things next week. So there may be a video next week, that might not be, depending on if I have the time and all the energy to actually make one. I'm sure it'll be fine. I think my partner wants to just sit home and relax the majority of the week. It's his birthday on Sunday, so he's treating himself to a week off just to relax, because he's quote unquote old now, at the ripe old age, the geriatric age of 31. But yeah, hopefully we'll have the proper setup next week. But I've been making my own inserts for years now. Years and years and years. I haven't purchased an insert, aside from like the grid inserts, your more structured inserts from Traveler's Company, like the grid ones. But the ones that I use for day-to-day journaling, I've made myself for years. I don't think I've actually purchased one for years. I can't tell you exactly how long, but it's been a while. Obviously, from time to time, I get inserts from my pen pals or friends. Camille often sends me one, and they are some of the best. Australia doesn't have... Okay, I take it back. Australia does. You can find nice, pretty papers in this country. I just find they're not as easily accessible, or they don't live up to my expectations. I have become incredibly picky with my inserts. I think mainly because I've been doing this for so long, you just get your preferences. And I know that my preference is out there. Why would I settle for something less? You know what I mean? So I definitely prefer thicker paper over thin. I find that a lot of the handmade paper that I can find in Australia is quite thin, and I find that kind of annoying to work with. I think because I'm quite minimal with paper, I see a lot of junk journals, they'll stack a lot of paper on top of each other, which is amazing for the bulk. I love a bulky junk journal. But I think for me, I like using the page as the actual background rather than a base, if that makes sense. Like it is sort of the star of the show in a way. I decorate the pages, not layer the pages. Am I making any sort of sense? I hope I am. So I think for me, I like having pages that can hold their own in that sense. I get a little bit twitchy if I turn the page and it's on a blank slate. I really like being able to have a really fun spread, turn the page, and it be completely fresh. And I don't love it when I see some bleed through, for example. It drives me nuts. Shadowing isn't too bad. I don't find shadowing that bad because it is kind of fun flicking through a notebook, seeing lots of writing. And like my writing mixed with the shadow, it just makes it feel more full to me. But bleed through drives me nuts. Or being able to see clearly what is written on the other page, because shadowing is still blurry to me, whereas if you can pretty much read it from the back of the page, not fun. Not a fan of that. And I find the papers that I'm drawn to, like color wise and style wise, are too thin for me to really love them. So that's probably why I'm so attached to Locta paper. The Locta paper that I buy from a little Australian company here called Locta, with 2 A's at the end, if you're ever curious. That's where I purchased the really pretty cornflower and marigold and just the plain Locta paper from. I buy them in rolls. I think it's wrapping paper, technically. That's how they advertise it as, at least. It's the same paper that I use for the backing of my bugs as well. I absolutely love it because it's nice and thick, but it's also fluffy and textured and heaven. I also recently went on a website that I do not remember the name of. One moment while I Google that. Papermark, which seemed to just have a lot of like wedding invitation sort of style paper. I know that a lot of the times when you Google textured paper, a lot of wedding invitation places come up, which is fine. They're usually absolutely gorgeous and stunning, and good quality as well. I got a bunch of random sample packs from that website just to test some new textured paper, and I found a couple of really nice ones that I liked, and I probably will purchase again. One that has just like text, like the classic sort of, I don't know, drawing paper texture, I guess, like the cotton rag sort of paper texture, and another one which had sort of lines through it. I think I did try to show it somewhere in this video, and it was really cool because if you run your fingers over it, you can feel the lines. I don't know, I love a good texture. It's fun to fiddle around with and stuff. So that's been my most recent experiment, I guess. And I have found some really good ones. I like to use the calligraphy paper, like the Japanese calligraphy paper that you can get in rolls. Again, has a really smooth side and a really fluffy side. And it comes in a roll, which is great. You can just cut it down to size. And I also tear the edges of my paper instead of cut them. Again, it gives this really nice, fluffy, soft kind of vibe, and I really appreciate that. That was a huge influence from Camille. She sent me a couple of her inserts that were torn. Like, every single page was, not just the handmade ones. Like, she even tore your more straight edge style papers, I guess. And I was like, this is just so delightful, and this is now going to be my personality whenever I make my own insert. Another big Camille influence was the vellum on the outside. I really like the marigolds locked for the covers of my journals. I have no idea why. I just think they're really fun as the cover. They are slightly thinner than the cornflower and the regular locked paper, which is probably why I like them as a cover. So I don't necessarily have to deal with the fault all that often, but I think it's really, really pretty. But Camille puts a piece of vellum over the front so the petals in the paper don't get broken or fly off or anything, because we're quite rough with our journals. We're not delicate, or at least I'm not super delicate with my journals and stuff. I love a good scratch. I love a good scuff. So yeah, I'm often throwing them around or just flinging them open. I'm not very careful with them. And the vellum seems to help keep the prettiness intact, which is great. Thank you so much, Camille. Once again, thanking Camille, because again, this is just this account is just a Camille fan account at this point. I don't really have anything else to talk about, though. I gotta be real with you. I've had a very, very quiet week. We also don't have a super long time left in the video. I could quickly go through some of my media stuff. I know that is my go-to when it comes to, I have nothing to talk about. Let's talk about, my media log. TV shows that we've been watching. The Dimension 20 show Cloudwood Ho came out last week. We watched that last week. It was fantastic, as always. So keen for this season. I just love this cast. They're just so much fun, and they've started meshing really well together. Obviously, the players know the game a little bit more. They've all been playing it for years now, so they just seem really comfortable at the table. You definitely saw that change from season to season in the Fantasy High series that they all did. So I'm really keen to see them play different things in this season in a completely different setting than Fantasy High, but still have the rapport and the chemistry that they all have, which is really, really fun. We've been also watching in between that and Game Changer Season 7 that comes out every week as well, which is always fun. I love Game Changer. I've been watching the Netflix show Department Q. That's recently come out, I think. It's a new Netflix show. It's fantastic. I've been absolutely hooked on it. I don't usually like those kind of TV shows. I don't deal with suspense very well. I'm a bit of a sook. I'm a bit of a pansy. But the story's gripped me, and yeah, it's really good. I've been really enjoying it. We'll probably finish that either tonight and or tomorrow. I'm not sure. Probably tonight, though. We'll probably stay up and watch the last 3 episodes because we want to know what happens. I hope it actually ends. I hope it doesn't end on a cliffhanger. Or, like, part of it ends, like, I hope they find the girl and then have an overarching bad guy, like corruption, all that sort of stuff. But I hope they find the girl, because I don't like cliffhangers. I don't like waiting. Just, I want everything now. I'm such a millennial. But that's all for TV shows. I mean, I'm still watching Taskmaster. Oh, just such a good season. Jason Mantzoukas is insane, as always. He's so much fun. I love how much he enjoys being there. And Matt Banton, I think his name is, the guy from Horrible Histories and Ghosts. Oh, Heart of Gold. Oh my goodness. Me and my sister watch it together. She lives in Adelaide now, so we phone call each other and just go 3, 2, 1, go, and we watch the same episode. And anytime Matt's on it, we both just swoon because he's just delightful. He's just a delightful guy. And he's just so sweet. Oh, it's just great. We're also like big time fans of Horrible Histories and Ghosts. So, you know, you just get attached to these people, and like, he just seems like a really nice guy and a really good guy. So, you know, we basically grew up with them almost in a weird kind of way. So yeah, anyway, so that's still really, really good. What else? The book I've just recently finished, also exceptional, 10 out of 10, 5 stars. I still think about it. It's Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman. Buehlman? I don't know. I can't pronounce his last name. It's exceptional. It's so good. That was classified as a horror. I wouldn't consider it a horror. I don't know if it's just because I'm reading it, so I can set the tone for myself. I did not find it that scary. I would consider it a historical fiction with supernatural elements. Because, you know, demons and angels and stuff, but it's set in France during the plague. And it's about a knight escorting a little girl to a city, and their adventures along the way, all of the chaos that ensues from that. Is she a witch? Is she a saint? We never know. So it's great. It's so good. Like, I still think about it. It's exceptional. It's so good. I'm actually about to read. I was so happy with that book that I'm reading another one of his novels next. I'm reading The Black Tongue Thief, which I found out yesterday is a series. The second book in the series came out this year, which I'm thankful for, because if this book goes really well, I'm going to want to read the second one. I have absolutely no idea how many he's planning, but I'm okay with waiting for book number 3 if that is the case. I will probably start that one tonight. Music-wise, I've been listening to Marina's album, Princess of Power. Also another, like, 5-star album for me. I absolutely love Marina. I don't think I've ever hated an album of hers. I think she is exceptional. Like, she's my Lady Gaga or my Taylor Swift. Like, she's my Princess of Pop. I absolutely adore that artist. So, super happy with that. It's been on repeat constantly since it came out last week. But that, again, I think that's it. I think that's all of it. I think I'm going to stop talking here now, because if I start going on another rant, I'm going to run out of time and it's going to feel rushed and weird. So I'm going to say goodbye now, because it's nearly finished. The video is nearly over. So I will leave you. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week, hopefully. Okay, bye-bye.